Assembly Member Polanski.
Thank you, Chair. The Airport National Policy Statement, the ANPS, in October, I asked you if you'd had any conversations with the government about suspending it. You said you'd had no conversations. When there was a Conservative government, you said, suspend the ANPS immediately, this will stop Heathrow expansion. Have you had that conversation now with the new Labour government?
My officials are speaking to DfT in relation to all policies in relation to transport that affects London, including the ANPS, and we'll make sure, well, the government already knows my views in relation to aviation, and I've said out in the answer to Senator Roberts, my first answer, our views haven't changed.
With respect, you're answering a slightly different question, so let me be very specific. Will you have a conversation with this Labour government about suspending the ANPS?
We are speaking to the government about the ANPS. We'll carry on having a conversation with the about the ANPS as well.
So you're having that conversation. Will you be calling for them to suspend it because that's how you stop Heathrow expansion?
Well, there are two issues in relation to Heathrow in terms of expansion. One is in terms of a runway. One is in terms of the point made by Senator Roberts, which is passengers, but without exceeding the flight capacity. So there are all sorts of conversations about expansion. We are against a third runway at Heathrow Airport for the reasons I've set out. The way to stop a new runway at Heathrow is to make sure the government understands the problems there would be if Heathrow came back with plans for a third runway.
Your story's changing, though, because when there was a Conservative government, the way to stop Heathrow expansion was to suspend the ANPS. Once again, will you speak to this Labour government about suspending the ANPS, and can you answer the question?
We are speaking to the Labour government about the ANPS and other policies as well.
About suspending it?
We are speaking to the government about the ANPS. That includes
about suspending it? Will you speak to the government about suspending the ANPS because that's how you delay or stop Heathrow expansion? Well, otherwise, it just sounds like lip service.
Well, the Deputy Leader of the Green Party is more than able to write a letter to the government if he objects to the ANPS.
So you're going to co-sign that letter? Because a minute ago you were talking about cross-party agreement on this.
Sensible policies from sensible parties I'll always agree upon.
Is suspending the ANPS and stopping Heathrow expansion a sensible policy?
Well, Chair, I've been quite clear in relation to my record as Mayor for the last 8.5 years opposing the expansion of Heathrow by a new runway, to the point...
You spent 5 minutes avoiding answering a question. Will you ask the Labour government to suspend the ANPS and stop Heathrow expansion?
To the point that I used taxpayers' money to instruct lawyers to act in a legal challenge, and we brought a judicial review, working with councils on a cross-party basis, environmental groups and others. If it was the case that Heathrow Airport was to come back with plans for a new runway at Heathrow Airport, which is supported by the government, I wouldn't hesitate to also launch, with partners and colleagues, another legal challenge.
There's lots of young people in the gallery, and very often you talk about caring about the climate crisis. You talk about wanting to stop Heathrow expansion, but when I'm asking you the single thing you can do as London Mayor to stop Heathrow expansion, you're just obfuscating and not answering the question. Will you talk to the Labour government about suspending the ANPS, the single way to stop Heathrow expansion?
Well, I suspect because there are people in the gallery, that's why he's playing to it. That's not the way to...
Are they Londoners or not? Are they Londoners or not?
Politics.
So you're not going to answer the question. Are you going to write to the Labour government or speak to the Labour government about suspending the ANPS? I can keep going all day, well, until my time runs out.
We're all looking forward to it. I'll carry on speaking to the government on a whole host of issues, including the ANPS.
Chair, I know he absolutely has not answered the question. It's interesting that he won't ask for Labour government to suspend the ANPS and stop Heathrow expansion. That's lip service.
Well, I thought he was going to carry on all day, Chair. He's given up.
The next question has been withdrawn, so on the order paper. So the question after that is from Assembly Member Duval, and it concerns the Police and Crime Plan 2025 to 2029.
Can I thank the member for his question? The safety of Londoners will always be my top priority as Mayor. Our draft Police and Crime Plan sets out how we propose to work with the Met Police Service and other partners towards helping Londoners to be safe and feel safe in their city over the next 4 years. At the core of the draft plan is a commitment to being tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime. Since coming to office, I have backed that approach with record investment both in the Met Police Service and in crime prevention work, including the creation of England and Wales' first violence reduction unit. Despite our city's population rising by over 1 million, and the Met Police Service having to make £1.2 billion of savings since 2012 and 13 due to central government underfunding, since 2016, knife crime with injury where the victim is aged under 25 is down 24%, lethal barrel discharges are down 38%, violence with injury is down 9%, homicide is down 13%, the lowest level recorded since 2014, and burglary is down 22%. The Met Police Service is now on a path of far-reaching reform, with the Commissioner taking action to deliver less crime, more trust and high standards. The draft plan builds on these principles and achievements, setting out our key priorities for this term: reducing violence and criminal exploitation, increasing trust and confidence in the Met Police Service, and improving the criminal justice system and supporting victims. The police cannot deliver these priorities alone, and the draft plan sets out how MOPAC, the Met Police Service and partner agencies including local councils, health services, criminal justice partners and transport operators must continue to work together to reduce and prevent crime now and over the long term. The draft plan also sets out the measures we will be looking at to assess the Met Police Service's performance, our commitment to transparency with that data, and how I'll support and challenge the Commissioner in delivering the police service that Londoners expect and deserve. Consultation on the draft plan is open until the 12th of February, and I'd encourage all Londoners to have their say.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I mean, in terms of, as you said, it's a challenge that faces all Londoners, and we need to work together in terms of tackling crime. Do you not think in the draft plan that there's more, we could be more explicit, and could you just outline some of your own thinking of where the community fits in tackling crime around that? Lots of the solutions in the document are about interagency working, but there's a role for the community in that. There's a role about how we can win trust and confidence back by response. I think that's quite implicit within the plan. But just in terms of, do you not think some of the agencies that we're working with, but including the police sometimes, forget about the people that we're working for, but their role in reducing crime and preventing crime?
Yeah, he makes a good point. Let me reflect on that when it comes to how we respond to the consultation to the police and crime plan. But the original Pelian principles, he'll know, the principles when Robert Hill set up the police service was the police are the public and the public are the police. And we police by consent. Unless the public has confidence in the police service, they're not going to come forward and report crime, be witnesses, join the police service and so forth. We are involving local communities in relation to not just more scrutiny of local scrutiny of the police service, but in terms of some policies we can use. And I also remember Anne Clark has got a good example in Barnet of Clear, Build and Hold, where the police service for the last 18 months worked with the community there in terms of what policies on an estate in Barnet could be used to get rid of antisocial behaviour, clear, hold that community, the area with the community, and then build. And so there'll be more of that coming out in the police and crime plan, but it's a really important point he raises. Let me go in and reflect whether we do enough of that in the draft police and crime plan. And
then secondly, very quickly, look, we've had the announcement, your draft budget yesterday. It's got a number of hurdles to go through. We've also had the government announcement. The challenge is still there, I believe. I wouldn't know the full detail about, in terms of numbers, the capacity to deliver the plan on the policing side of the arguments. Do you just want to make a quick comment around that? And really, I suppose, well done. We've got some extra money over and above that we've had from the previous government. You've clearly continued to put your money where your mouth is, both in terms of prevention and policing enforcement issues. So where do you think we are on police numbers?
I've been clear for some time, no one budget is going to undo 14 years' worth of austerity and damage. £1.1 billion real term cuts in the police service for the last 14 years, £1.1 billion. So the good news is, this government, just in the first 7 months, has given the biggest additional core funding from a government of any year since 2010. This government, only elected in July, has given an increase of 34% in NIC money, National International Capital City Grants money. My draft budget I published yesterday means we have more than doubled the amount of funding the police receive from City Hall. I'm afraid it's still not enough. And what Sir Mark was trying to do when he made his statement a few months ago was to explain to Londoners there is a big gap in relation to the plans he's got for next year and the monies he's he has. Efficiencies only go so far when you've got £1.1 billion worth of black hole to fill. Working really closely with the Met Police Service to try and see what we can to try and close that gap. The Met Police Service will now study my draft budget I published yesterday. I'll be coming forward with their budget over the next few weeks.
In the latest London Assembly session, tensions rose once again as Assembly member Polanski pressed Mayor Sadiq Khan for a straight answer. Would he call on the new Labour government to suspend the airport national policy statement and finally stop Heathrow's long-debated expansion? Despite repeated questioning, the mayor danced around the issue, insisting his team is in discussions but refusing to commit to a clear stance. For a man who once demanded an immediate suspension under the Conservative government, many found his hesitation striking. Critics argue it's political convenience, the same promise, now softened under his own party's leadership. But the debate didn't end there. The discussion then turned to the mayor's new police and crime plan for 2025 to 2029. Khan highlighted record investment in policing, a drop in major crimes, and his continued support for community partnerships to reduce violence. He pointed to successes like the Violence Reduction Unit and the Clear, Hold, Build strategy, saying London must remain tough on crime and its causes. Yet, questions remain about whether these reforms will be enough to rebuild trust, close the funding gaps, and deliver real safety across the capital. After 8 years in office, Sadiq Khan says his priorities remain clear: a safer, greener, and fairer London. But when it comes to Heathrow expansion and climate leadership, critics are asking, is the mayor standing firm on principle or standing back for political convenience? If you found this analysis useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss our next political update.